Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premium Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Big Dogs Brewing Company, open 24/7, is an award-winning brewer, a full-service catering business, and a fun, smoke-free brew pub restaurant with a full-service bar, including over 35 craft beers on tap, 35 multi-denomination slot machines, the best gaming promotion, and a lively, dog-friendly outdoor patio. Big Dogs Brewing Company, 4543 North Rancho Gray. Find out more at BigDogsBrews.com.
Experience at the strip club.
Steiner's, the Nevada style pub, but you can play the best tavern, keno, and video poker in Vegas. Promos are how we roll to make the most of your gaming dollars here with us. Come play our proud partner gaming promotion. Fly here to fly and receive daily free play, bonuses, and more. With a chance to win awesome brand of prizes and big money for all the jackpots each week. It's not only great gaming that Steiner's Pub has, it's the 24 awesome rotating draft beers and Vegas' best appetizers to match. So join us in supporting your Las Vegas Aviators, Golden Knights, Knights, Aces, and the Raiders as we make history in Vegas. Steiner's, the Nevada style pub at 8410 West Cheyenne, 1750 North Buffalo, and Las Vegas Boulevard at Windmill. Steiner's, I love this place.
A wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
Located only 4 miles from downtown Colorado Springs, at just 10 miles from Pikes Peak, Hyatt Place, Colorado Springs Garden of the Gods offers spacious rooms featuring contemporary decor with stylish furnishings, including divided living and sleeping areas, the Hyatt Grand Bed, state-of-the-art media and work center, a 42-inch flat-panel high-definition television that easily integrates with laptops and other devices, and complimentary breakfast is included in your stay. Hyatt Place, Colorado Springs Garden of the Gods at 503 West Garden of the Gods Road. Visit HyattPlace.com.
Okay. Hold on.
All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Last segment of the week, and I always like having some fun last segment of the week, of course. Not that we don't have fun every day on this show. We do, but the lovely lady joining us, we missed her last week, and she joins us this week. She is known as pastor turned stripper, but she's certainly more than that. She's a life coach too, and it's always a pleasure to talk to her about pop culture issues and so much more. The lovely Nikole Mitchell joining us right now on the line. Nikole, it's good to see you. Looking great as always. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing okay. I haven't really talked to you since New Year's. How was your New Year's Eve?
It was probably nowhere near as fun as yours. I stayed home, watched Taylor Swift's Eras Tour movie with my kids, and then we watched fireworks live on YouTube.
What's wrong with that? That's
loved
great.
it.
That's a family New Year's Eve. I love that. I think that's great. That's awesome. It's a lot
Perfect.
better. Yeah, a lot better than drinking all night and getting hungover the next year and feeling like crap, right?
Was that you?
No comment. No comment. But it sounds like you had a good time, and that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Man, we got a lot to catch up on,
Yes.
And a lot to get to. Now, I like talking movies with you, and The Color Purple is a movie that's raked in over 18 million. It's the largest Christmas Day opening for a film since 2009. Have you had a chance to see it yet?
I've not, and I'm dying to see it. And you know what's so fascinating? Isn't it kind of like a bold move to release the movie on Christmas Day? I feel like not as many people would go because they're with family, but apparently a ton of people went to go see it.
And I read that book when I was like in third or fourth grade. So I haven't
Whoa.
seen it yet either, but I would like to. I heard the acting and it is fantastic, and it's pretty touching movie. So I definitely want to check that out. But I haven't really seen a real good movie in the theaters in a long time. I don't know if you have.
No way. Did you see the original Color Purple movie?
Yes, I saw that in high school, actually. I think our
No
history teacher made
way.
us see. Yeah, they would call that critical race theory today, but
Yeah.
that's a movie that I think everybody should see, the original one. It's really good.
Yeah,
Really
it
good.
was a tearjerker. I
Yep.
wept throughout the movie. I've not read the book. I'm assuming the book is probably even more intense.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know if
is.
you remember because it was a long time ago for you, but I'm like, elementary, that's a young age to read that book.
It was, but I thought it was important, and I was glad that I read the book, and it gives us a piece of history and certainly what people had to go through.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, and it's a part of our history, like it or not, and it's important that people understand it, and that's why I am all for it. On a
Amazing.
lighter note, I've been noticing on social media, people have been kind of obsessing over this 9-month ultimate world cruise. Can you on social media? Can you talk to us a little bit about this?
I saw that online and my
Yeah.
jaw dropped. A 9-month cruise, Brian. Could you do it?
No, I'm claustrophobic, so 9 days would be enough for me, but that might be
Have you
too
ever
much.
been on a cruise?
I went on a cruise once, and it was next time I'm gonna get a room that's a little larger, I'll put it that way. I was in a smaller room, and it was not very comfortable.
Oh my, I've never been
It's
on one.
I mean, listen, I like, laying out by the pool, relaxing, being on the ocean, and that all that stuff is fun. Going to the shows, the food was decent, but it has to be under the right circumstances, I think.
Ooh, like would you
Yeah.
go with like a lover?
Perhaps. I know Justin would go with me, so we'll see if we can make that happen. I don't know. That's up to Justin. I don't know if he'd be willing to do that or not, but
This is amazing. Justin, what's your answer?
sorry. We were interrupted by Ron DeSantis. Justin is obsessed with that soundbite, so I'm letting him go with it today. He has permission. So this is kind of cool. I'm somewhat of a Shakira fan. I'm a fan of her music, and I like the way she shakes that bum, I guess you could say. Boy, I said that in a very white way, didn't I? But a giant statue from the Colombian pop star was unveiled. Tell me a little bit about this.
It's 20 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, and it's beautiful. Like, if there's any way to be memorialized, if there's ever a way you want to be remembered, it is cast in a 20-foot statue where you look absolutely stunning. That's Shakira. I think it's so incredible that her hometown is giving her credit, and that she gets to see in her lifetime the impact she's had, not only all over the world, but the very place she came from.
Yeah, I think that's cool. She's obviously a living legend. There's
Yeah.
no question about that. I don't really hear a lot about Sandra Bullock lately, but I know she honored her late partner, Brian Randall. Would have been his 58th birthday. Tell me a little bit about that.
I didn't even know he had ALS.
Yeah,
And I read it
very
because
sad.
that was his request. His request was to keep it private, and she kept it private all the way until the very end, until he passed away a few months ago. And I just was in awe. I think, well, being with anyone when they're sick is really hard, especially when it's a terminal illness. And I don't know if you've ever done any kind of hospice care, but it's heart wrenching. It is gut wrenching to take care of someone you love
Mhm.
while on hospice and not be able to talk about it publicly. And I just have so much respect for her and so much tenderness for her as she just watched her loved one pass away.
Yeah, that's really sad. I like Sandra Bullock. I've always liked her movies.
Yeah.
Really good actress, and seems to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, she's a good one.
going-
I have a question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Do you want to be buried or cremated?
Ooh, that's a really. Ooh, luckily I haven't really thought about that.
No way, really? I think about it all the time.
I'd probably rather be buried.
Okay.
I don't think I'll feel it either way, but
Right.
I'd probably rather go the conventional way. But I think that's up to anyone and everyone. And
Do you
I
have
remember
a family plot?
somewhat. I guess you could
Okay.
say that. Yeah, somewhat. But
Mhm.
yeah, I haven't talked about that too much with my family, but that's obviously a dark subject, I guess you could say. But it's important to know what your family wishes are.
Yeah.
in that type of circumstance. No question about it.
Yep.
And speaking of which, you being a former pastor, isn't there there's a lot of literature and a lot of speakings about life after death and what we are supposed to experience. Now, I, for one, am not going to say I know, because I don't think anybody knows for sure. So what do people in that industry, for lack of a better term, think happens after you die?
We go to like a temporary heaven, and then someday Jesus is going to come back and take all the believers with him to the actual heaven, which is why when I was a kid growing up, being cremated was not allowed, because your body is holy and you need to keep it intact so God can resurrect you. But it's so funny because either way you turn to dust. So it never made sense to me as a little kid. Like, I've always been drawn towards cremation. Like, and now because I'm not a believer, I just think life is over probably. But like you said, nobody knows. So just turn me to dust, sprinkle my ashes in my favorite places. Because I think even if God exists and God does resurrect, I think God, if God's really all powerful, can find my ashes and bring me back together.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about all that. Like,
Yeah,
and a lot of people will probably disagree with me on this, but I kind of feel like after you die, it's like before you were born. You don't remember who you were or where you were before you were born, and I feel like you didn't exist. And I know a lot of people would say, well, wait a second, Brian, but you did exist after you die, and you have a soul, and you have this, and you have that. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I hope there is a heaven or whatever it would be. I hope there's some sort of afterlife, and I'm not rooting against that. I want that there to be that. I guess my point is, I think everybody is entitled to their beliefs on this.
Totally.
But what I don't like is when people force their beliefs on you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I don't like. Nobody knows for sure. When people say they spoke to God, I say to myself, okay, you woke up in the morning and you spoke to somebody imaginary and you believe that you were speaking to God. You have the right to do that. You have the right to believe that if it makes you feel better. But I say to myself, maybe you were just talking to yourself. That's also possible, is it not?
Like, I used to cry because I'd be so moved at my worship services and worship concerts. And then I went to my Hanson concert and I bawled just as much. And I'm like, maybe it's not God. Maybe it's just the human experience.
Yes. You cried at a Hanson concert.
I bawled. I was in 8th grade. I was in love with all of them. They were singing the cries of my heart. Yes.
Mbop. Was it Mbop that got you going? It was Mbop.
That was the pinnacle. That was the pinnacle of all the tears, was to Mbop.
Well, I think I might have mentioned this before. I'm going to be honest and say that the first time I saw the Mbop video, I thought their lead singer was a woman.
I thought all 3 of them were girls.
It was a chick. Yeah. I
And
thought
that's
it was
when I
the Dixie
realized
chick.
I was queer, because I'm like, these girls are hot. And then I found out they're brothers, and I'm like, these boys are hot. Like, doesn't matter. I think they're hot.
Aren't they still touring? They're still doing stuff,
As of
aren't
a
they?
few years ago, they were. I went to one of their concerts in 2022.
Was it good?
I loved it. It was a
They're
small
good
venue.
musicians, right? They're good
They are
musicians.
really good musicians.
Yeah.
They're a little religious, which I don't really love, and they kind of like seep that into their concert. But they're from Oklahoma. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting because our producer over here asked me about a show coming up. The band is called Stained. I don't know if you've heard of them. The lead singer is Aaron Lewis. And Aaron Lewis is for lack of a better term, a racist bigot. And he not just because he's a MAGA supporter, but he actually on stage says blatantly crazy racist things. And I say to myself, I like the guy's music. He's a talented guy, but I don't think I could go see his show. It's like I couldn't see Ted Nugent. I mean, I saw Kid Rock just because he's a good performer, but I don't like Kid Rock's politics. But this guy, Aaron Lewis, is just a scumbag. Would you be able to go to a show if you admire the music if you knew the person was an utter scumbag?
No, and especially if he was going to use that on stage, kind of like Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle's hilarious, but he makes so many trans jokes that I'm like, I can't go and see you and support that. It's like, it's hurtful.
Yeah. I think Chappelle does that to be controversial because he knows it's good, it's money. And I think sometimes comedians to take it a little bit too far, but I'll even give Dave Chappelle a little bit of a pass, even though I know where you're going with that. Aaron Lewis is a musician. I'd like to think that most people, when they go see a concert, they don't want to hear the musician going on and on about politics and making bigoted statements. I would like to think that.
Right.
If you are, to Dave Chappelle's defense, if people don't like his jokes, they're not going to go see him and, see a show, right? People that go see Dave Chappelle, they know what he's about. He makes very controversial jokes. But if you go to see Aaron Lewis, you're going to hear his music. You don't want to hear him talk about MAGA and talk about, all the other things. And I think that's the big difference, right, between a comedian and some comedians and some musicians. Like when Ted Nugent gets up there, a lot of people probably just want to hear him sing. They don't want to hear him talk about how great Donald Trump is, and vice versa. It could be a liberal, Madonna's very liberal. I don't want to hear Madonna up there either talking about how great Joe Biden is and how she hates Republicans. You want to see her perform. Like, at least that's how I feel.
Right. No, I think you're right. I do think comedians walk a really unique road where they're able to speak to power, speak to all kinds of different topics. They're allowed to take stances, but just stop with the transphobic, racist, sexist, all the isms that just don't need to exist anymore. We can do better than that.
Yes, we can. I think 2024, we're very divided right now. I feel like 2024, it ain't going to get any better. I hope it does. In a perfect world, I agree with you. I think all that stuff needs to stop, but I just feel like it's getting worse right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, but I guess, we'll hope for the best and we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know, man. I don't know how, is this a busy time for you, by the way? After the new year, I know a lot of people probably need some life coaching and they have some New Year's resolutions. Do a lot of people come up to you and email you and talk to you about that?
It tends to be my least busy time, but I plan it that way because I go all in the last few months of the year. Like I really want to support people, and I launch things a few months ahead of time. So now January is a lot more calmer for me because people got what they wanted from me, and now I'm starting to plan my latest programs and containers and offers. But right now, it's very calm, which is exactly what I needed after the holidays.
Well, I tell you what, man, I'm just glad that it's Friday. I'm glad that the weekend has arrived. What do you got going on this weekend?
I have my kids are having a sleepover. I have a friend coming to town. I'm gonna go to can I say strip club? I'm gonna go to an entertainment space
Yes,
this
you can. You can
weekend.
say Sapphire over and over again. Yes, you can say strip club. I have no problem. You can say Chippendales too, but I prefer Sapphire.
That's amazing. I'm going to go to one of those this weekend. So social.
So can I ask you? Hold on, backtrack here. Let's get this story down here. Are you going with a significant other to a strip club? Are you going with a man? Are you going with some girlfriends? How does that work?
All the above. So I usually go with my partner, but this weekend it's with one of my guy friends who's coming to town, and then
lucky guy.
Yes, and one of my girlfriends who's absolutely gorgeous, and then my partner might come depending on his work schedule. So it could be 3 or 4 of us.
All right, so help me out with this. When you go to a strip club,
yes,
do you get dances? Do you have guys or girls that you're with choose which girl is going to get a dance? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So whenever I go, I always sit right at the stage. I tip every dancer. These women are working. We are usually the biggest tippers because I value these women. I value their work. It is so hard to perform on your knees, on a pole, in front of a bunch of people who don't usually tip. And then almost always my partner will be like, who do you want me to pay to give you a dance? So then I watch all the dancers. I pick the one that I want, and then I pick the package. So we went last week, and I picked the same 2 girls to dance on me and on us twice. And it was so glorious.
Yes. When you use the term, I could make a terrible joke. I would never do that. But when you said it's hard to perform on your knees, I would say that about many in the MAGA Republican Party today, because they would know a thing or two about that. But I would never make that joke because it would be very.
Oh my God, Brian.
Maybe we could ask Melania Trump about that. She might know a thing or two about that. But anyway, how is it that we have not all gone to the strip club with Nikole? How has that not happened yet in Las Vegas? How is that even possible?
Yep. Next time in town.
You've come to the show at Sapphire during the day, but I think we need to mix it up. You need to go with us at night. That's what we need to do.
Give me all the ladies.
I will give you one quick strip club story. You ready for this one? This was about 6 or 7 years ago. I was asked to be a celebrity judge with a few friends of mine in a BBW contest where they were giving out 10 grand. Okay. So they were serving Popeye's chicken for free to everybody that was there, including the judges. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I love my free food. So I grab myself a few drumsticks. I go to the stage and a few performers go on. They're not bad. I think I gave them like a 6 or 7 out of 10. One chick gets up there on the stage. I'm eating a drumstick while I'm watching her. This is a true story, by the way. I have friends that can confirm this. She grabs the drumstick out of my hand, grabs a bite out of it, and starts finishing it on stage. And I said, bravo. I gave her a 10, and she ended up winning. So,
oh, my God. We love the unexpected. We love a ballsy woman. I fucking love that.
Now, I'll be honest. I would not have taken the drumstick back and ate the drumstick. That would have been fearful, and that was my fear, that she was going to hand it or throw it back to me. But she didn't do that. She finished the drumstick. She finished it to the bone, and I said, "You deserve a 10." And she ended up winning, and she thanked me. So it was a very interesting evening, Nikole. But it was an interesting, fun night. Yes,
I love that. That's part of why I like these clubs. Is you never know what might happen. It could be totally tame and low key, or it could go do something crazy. Like, I love that. That is such a good story.
It is a fun one, and I tell that from time to time. Well, Nikole, have fun with your family this weekend. I'm very jealous. Have fun at the strip club. I want some pictures. I want some stories for next week. I can't wait. Always good to see you, and we look forward to catching up with you next week. Okay, Nikole? Thank you so much.
Sounds good, Brian. Thank you.
Good to see you. All right, bye-bye. That's Nikole Mitchell, everybody. Always love having her on every Friday. Always a fun segment where we catch up on some pop culture issues. And then I didn't think that I was going to be sharing my strip club drumstick story, but Nikole just brought it out of me. Well, there you go. I don't think I've ever said that story on the. Have I? I don't know if I ever have or not. But I was actually there with Chris Wynn, believe it or not. I was there with Chris Wynn, and he also gave her a 10, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fun week of shows, as it always is, and I hope everybody has a safe and happy weekend. Didn't really get a chance to touch on any sports topics today, but I'm going to be checking out my first Ignite game tonight. And then tomorrow, UNLV San Diego State. This is a big game on national CBS. So this is a big game for UNLV. If they can somehow find a way to win this game, then they're off to a great start in the Mountain West. It's asking a lot for them. How about the Vegas Golden Knights? They lost like 6 out of the last 7. They've really been struggling. They got belted by Florida yesterday. They're not looking good. So I don't know what's going on with the Vegas Golden Knights. And of course, the Raiders, final game of the year, Broncos at home. Could it decide whether Pierce stays or goes? I don't know. We'll find out. And we'll let you know on Monday. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Hey, everybody. Are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is